Greetings, number 20 Science Broadcast. Brought by Complete Insanity. So this is I think I spelled that right. Sure. 5D realities, other versions of Earth, and religion breaking down. There's been a lot of churches being burned. I think it's in Canada. Yeah, I think it was somewhere else. I can't remember where else, but either way. So as not that religion is going away completely, but it is breaking down, but it's going into the spiritual community and poisoning that. So we're not out of the woods just yet. So of course, religion isn't going to just vaporize itself, but it's it's taking they're bringing their controls into the spiritual community, which has already been there, and because they don't want to evolve or want to go to fourth and fifth dimensions, which is fine. But yeah, they're going to poison that one for some time, so we'll see where that goes. So 5D reality is I should have changed the title to cloning. I feel like so I'm just going to kind of keep this open where this is going to go, but cloning seems to be you can say as we evolve spiritually, at least those that want to, where the third dimension starts to break down more and more. Seeing the future is it's not easy for some of us. Of course, China is preparing to nuke everybody. Well, in theory. And Russia, that's right, and put that whole thing with Crimea. There was something going on with Britain and Russia, but it didn't hit the news, of course. But they were trying something, it feels like. So I can post that here, actually. All right, so we go into that. Yeah, that was different. Normally I don't wake up. Well, last year I woke up feeling like I had the virus. And I had to tell myself, it's like, first off, there's nobody here. I was visiting China. I was visiting China in astral. I really feel like I didn't have it, but I was around others that did or was afraid of it. So Crimea came through. I'll go into that in a second. So this is ivantoad.com, my private sessions somewhere. I have the shop here. I'm on the 19th. Same situation here. Webinar sign up. Social network, Rabbit. I might update this eventually. I just haven't got around to it. Behind the scenes and dating site, which is not many on there, but working on that. Oh yeah. And then here. I picked the news on this recently. But this is what's been going on, so you understand what I'm talking about. If anybody cares. So this isn't hitting mainstream news, but yeah, this has been happening while you've been sleeping. Basically, at least the vibe. Basically, the British ship was not supposed to be in those waters, so they were causing trouble. Basically, this was in the Black Sea. So, at least that's the vibe I'm getting from it. So, yeah, trying to cause. And I woke up thinking Crimea. I think that's how you pronounce it. Crimea. So. And also the U.S., of course, was involved too. No surprise there. Well, I say Britain's not really here, but not sure about that. I mean, they're technically still rolling here, just like Israel and so forth. Nothing's changed there. Of course, I'll talk about it. So, yeah, I'm just going to go by what's coming through. So as we go into more of disconnecting from third dimensional idea systems, slowly some of the cloning energy that is here, at least the alien influence, will show itself, especially in Washington, but other places too. But Washington is a hotbed for it. And some people have already been connecting to it here and there through, but it hasn't been clear. And of course, not for everybody to tap into. Of course, I was sitting here answering questions. I'm just here minding my own business, and I got a message, like just an energy is about Dulce and Biden, about Biden being a clone and everything. They kind of saw the realm and all that. I mean, it's kind of like science fiction, but I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I pretty much call Biden. I was going to say this, but I mean, I pretty much call Biden, President Ice Cream, and then the mainstream media is the ice cream media. So that's all they report on is ice cream. They're not going to go into anything else. So, President Ice Cream, Vice President Ice Cream. It's just wearing his shades and looking cool. So anyway, it's like a GQ type of thing going on. But either way, yeah. So little by little, become more deciphering of the realities that are manipulating our reality. Like another reality is manipulating our reality. So it's kind of like a bleed through from other places. Of course, it's not making itself known because we're still at this frequency, but some of that needs to shift out of this realm. I mean, not everybody's built in a way to see these things for obvious reasons. It can be a little bit overwhelming. I mean, the less you know, the more enjoyable life is. The less that you're, focused on the physical, like even nature is physical. So that's like a material thing too. And nature is being manipulated too. Pretty much everything here is being manipulated. Nature. Some people go to nature. There's nothing wrong with going to nature, but realize that that's being manipulating our reality also. Because nature is usually, from what I can see, more vibrant, more colorful, more alive, just more awakened. I don't know how to, I guess I can say trees moving around, but just more alive. And that's, another phase we're going to be going into, like when nature starts to break down and even new colors start to come about. That might be happening somewhere on the world, but that would show that we're kind of like, birthing the new earth. But for the new earth to really occur, we have to look at things differently. And of course, many here are not going to want that. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is not for everybody. It's like some of us have been waiting for this for quite some time. It doesn't mean anything is going to shift. It's just looking at the world without the control mentality that's going on, which by the archons, by wherever else that's here. Those are raising Anunnaki beings here, raising the Anunnaki. I mean, many alien beings, like they want a front row seat to our experience. For them to, because as more they know about the third dimension, I believe they go in actually higher frequency. It's like the more they learn from us, the more stable their reality is. It's just when you're living in this perfect reality, it can fall apart. But if you're learning from us, so this is why so many alien beings lock onto us, which makes sense. So they can better know themselves, so they can keep their frequency high. So we're always schooling them. So this is school for the higher dimensions. It's probably been said somewhere else, somewhere, but this just, because when you can take to a higher frequency, you're not evolving. We're keeping a lot of worlds stable right now. Of course, maybe not everybody will agree with that. You can't make everybody happy, but in the long run, because we test ourselves, especially with the human trafficking situation. I mean, I'll give you at least my version of part of that, or at least with suicides. Those that end up suiciding themselves, you get contracts somehow, or the details aren't clear, but and then you end up having a lifetime like Britney Spears or Justin Bieber, where you're controlled. So and you can't break that contract. You can try, but look at what Britney Spears is going through. So if they had a lifetime where they committed suicide, yeah, you just have to roll with it. Or like another example, I'm getting like a Henry VIII vibe too. Is like, he might have committed suicide in another lifetime, and then he'd be contracted to be Henry VIII and be that person. I'm just putting that out there. That's the vibe I'm getting from him a little bit. So there's just a controlling factor there. It's like, I know some people are blasé about suicide. Everything's going to be fine and dandy. I mean, a part of you might be, but there's another part of you that is under some kind of contract that, of course, they don't want to mention because they want to heal, and there's only so much people want to see. So it's just complicated. But yeah, it's all this is actually quite complicated. Some might say it's simple, but it's complicated also. So other versions of Earth, you can say the clone reality is connected to other versions of Earth. So other versions of Earth, I believe these other versions are blending into our reality. We're just not always noticing it. And there's several other. I mean, we talk about us always shifting and all that, but who can process that? It's like, we can process a hamburger, maybe. We can process physical realms, but the non-physical is very hard to. So it's like, I'm getting. It's probably more than this, but it feels like there's 30 realities or 30 versions of Earth that rotate through our planet, changing our reality. Of course, there's probably more to it than that, but there are some planets that are fixated with ours. Kind of like the end of the world scenario, like the zombie apocalypse world. I would say even the AI takeover world is blending with us, kind of reminding us like, don't be careful. This might happen to you because we can shift anywhere we want. So of course you get protected. Yeah, that's where it gets complicated. You can say that's where time wards come into effect, also to keep us from those situations. And some people here might have another incarnation as a time ward or as an alien being, time ward, wherever you want to call yourself, to keep us from diving into the abyss. So it gets complicated into higher frequencies. Always putting it out there, but of course, remember what we're taught. None of that stuff exists. It's all fake. But then again, we're seeing in fiction and everything. So helping us like realize how the universe really works. And if you connect to yourself, with those that are ready to, and unlocking a lot of that all makes sense. Well, it might not make sense. Probably none of it makes sense. But there's more going on than what we're being told. And just in a physical reality, there's only so much we can handle. But you keep an open mind. Anything is. It does feel like there's several other planets. It's not the easiest thing because I'm tapping into it now. It's not like I walk around every day thinking about these things, but it doesn't make itself known. But there are also other versions of Earth that are, where their nature is completely controlled. Kind of like it's like very low vibrational vortexes of almost like an AI type of nature. It's artificial intelligence nature that looks like nature, but it's not. It's kind of interfering with our reality a little bit. Take that word. Either way, nature is being manipulated in all different directions. It's keeping us locked down. Basically, we have to just renew the planet altogether to really go into this new. And once again, just let go of the thinking of everyday life. I mean, obviously you have it, but you'll see more of it as primitive thinking. And just when you go more multi-dimensional, things get more. I mean, some people are just multi-dimensional people, so they just can tap into it a little bit better than others. Let's put it that way. It's not for everybody. You're just a multi-dimensional person, and you connect to all these different realities, and you just when you tap into it, which you have to be in a certain state to do that. Yeah, walking around normal life, I don't think it's the easiest thing because you're kind of guiding yourself, making sure you don't crash into somebody or like you want to function here. So there's a lot goes into just functioning here. Yeah, you're kind of like a satellite, so you're downloading who you are. So you can be a normal human, but when you have a time for yourself, when you're away from, you're relaxed and tap into the other realms. This is why I believe a lot of people get depressed because this realm is so low, and they're used to such a higher frequency. This is common knowledge. Well, you're used to higher frequencies and things going faster. Yeah, this place is so slow, it makes people want to go crazy. So we're going into, that doesn't mean things are going to get too fast. This is why people can't drive. It's one of the reasons. At least here they can't drive. Yeah, just pedal to the metal. If it's raining, don't care. Go faster. So anyway, but with religion breaking down, the consciousness is shifting. So religion, those are religiously connected or religion connected. They're kind of lost. Some of them, or all of them, however you want to look at that. So they're looking for a way out, or you can say a way out of this reality. You can say, like, this makes sense. So why so many fell into religion to begin with is because this world's so difficult. You go to religion to save yourself. Heard that before. And so that's not always working, or it's just not whatever. And so now many are finding spirituality for that that's the way to go, even if they don't understand it. And even in the spiritual community, there's a lot of trickster energies going around, and it gets complicated with that. So it's another lesson which can keep some people from reincarnating again. So like the bigger the groups, like the new church, and you just get pulled into that cycle again. Scary. So, of course, some of us that are here will end up coming back here anyway because the mission is not done. You can't sit there and free yourselves from this place. But some of us, I guess, enslaved the planet at one time, but then again, it was necessary for whatever reason. So, of course, the truth of all this is not always making itself clear of everything. Truth, yeah, there's like layers and layers of truth of why this is all happening. I mean, this is, yes, a young race, and it's young, it's still learning. It's been thousands of years, so it hasn't figured itself out. But then again, there's other beings that are here being bullies to humanity. Alien beings that are taking advantage of humans, so it gets a little bit more complicated. So I think I said this yesterday, but yeah, we're kind of a reflection of the darkness of the universe. It's like if we have problems, the universe has got problems. So it's not just us that have issues. The universe, we're a reflection of how wounded, how sinister the universe is. It's like, this place has got major issues. Yeah, because some beings like say, like, we're bad, we're this, we're that, we're infants, we don't know anything. But we're also getting manipulated by all these different beings. And, we're seeing their problems. Especially from the lower dimensions. The lower dimensions, well, we have to balance that out. Of course, that's a little more complicated. So we're going into a time of, breakdown of society eventually. Not yet, but we're going into that phase of, we're kind of seeing it now, but not in the full level just yet. Yeah, it has to trickle down a little bit. It's already doing that now, but something's coming. I don't know what, but we're going to some kind of new timeline, but it's not making itself clear what. That's why so many people are worn out, but who knows what's up with that. For the cloning energy, when it tap into that a little bit, of course, it's protected for obvious reasons. Yeah, the politicians are the easiest to tap into because they're such a low frequency. They're so controlled. Not all politicians are under that clone mentality. Some of them have been taken up by aliens, talked to. Some of them been talking to the tall whites to try to do the right thing here. They can't force anyone to do anything, but they can have conversations with them. So, of course, a lot of people in always in politics are basically like alien beings already. So they're galactics that can't get their act together. So our government is kind of like a galactic government. Of course, we don't see it that way right now, but I mean, where do these people come from? How do they get this power? I mean, some get the power. I mean, just like it's like some of the scum of the earth, and they get all that power and all that. It's like because they come from the universe, and you just have a certain ranking where they can be at a certain power. But if you see that from a spiritual or a galactic stance, like I said, if some are from Mars, some are from Venus. It's funny saying that. They're from all different places, but yeah, a lot of things are being blocked right now. For now, the cloning energy, of course, there is cloning technology in some of our pharmaceutical companies. Some of the pharmaceutical companies aren't aware that they're doing cloning technology. Where they do a project, but they don't know what it's for. But it ends up going to some kind of cloning situation somewhere. Some do. I don't know who. I do get them. I did get them energy of Johnson and Johnson, so which kind of makes sense, or does make sense, because they're so influential here. They connected. I'm not gonna go into that. So yeah. Well, you can say like products that people use for their kids. What is that company from? What makes that? What gives them that power? That's kind of creepy when you think about it. I don't know where things are gonna go. We're gonna have just a revolution. We're always doing this woke revolution. We're canceling everybody or whatever, and they're woking people. Are we going to go into a phase of just throwing everything out? Maybe not. It's hard to say. It's hot here, so. Um, yeah, the pharmaceutical. Yeah, anything connected to baby products is creepy as hell. Yeah, how is that? How kosher is that? So how deep do people really want to go? I feel like some of this stuff you can tap into, or you get kind of an energy hit or whatever. But the elite want to disclose a lot of this too. Reason being, maybe not all at once, because some of it is kind of heavy. But I mean, the more that we want to know about ourselves, of course, it takes time. There's timelines why we can't see things. It gets complicated. They're not ready to reveal, but when they are ready to reveal, I believe they actually want us to take this world back. And they can go off and cause some more mayhem somewhere else. So people feel like the elite are losing and all that. I mean, some of them want to just give up the reins here. They get bored or just want to see us succeed. Where's the positive ones? The other ones just want to watch us, be pulverized. Either one or the other. But I feel like they're going to keep us going. So let's see. They're not at least those that are controlling information here. They don't want to reveal everything too soon. It has a lot of connections to timelines in the future where it kind of can cause some difficulties there. But little by little, they're allowed to give like little nuggets of information for healing. It's like sometimes they put out certain information. It might not hit everybody, but some people might affect where it can be kind of heavy. It might not be you, it might be somebody else. So that's why they're just trickling. It's like a little rainstorm of what's to come. Of us just, I mean, the vision I got is like if society does break down, can you keep your sanity through? We kind of saw that last year. But it doesn't mean we're not going to go through another phase of that eventually. As we go into just a new reality, we go into a new mindset. Where universities are no longer needed anymore because it's all brainwashing anyway. That's going to be a while. But just like where university comes from, what kind of archon technology brought that, what alien being brought that here. Yeah, where we get more of a understanding of what alien beings Yeah, our connection to Mars is hidden for now. Washington D.C. hidden for now, not entirely, but mostly. Um, let's see here. Let's see other versions of Earth. Of course, our planet is connected to or other planets here. Of course, we get a lot of our knowledge from Neptune for releasing us. To get like more of a like an easy release of the shackles around humanity. If humanity is not ready to dive into all these things, we're going into basically healing trickster energies. And of course, once again, there's many that are holding, they want to hold on to the physical realm. And there's nothing wrong with the physical realm, but just how they manipulate it, how they want it to a certain vibration. They want to control information, basically. And we're going to a time where all information is free. Basically, open up that Akashic record realm. This is what we're here to do. Yeah, there were multi-dimensional beings, and allow that to come through instead of just saying it all the time and you're never really seeing any results. So as we go more multi-dimensional, these other versions of Earth make it more clear because that's where many of us have incarnations in, where you actually have freedom, where you're actually making a difference. And here you're just kind of watching life go around, not do anything. But we are in certain places where we need to be, definitely. Like Florida, I feel there are underground bases here. Actually, there's a fire in the Gulf right now. Of course, that's not hitting news right now, but I think just not going to that. But yeah, it's just we're just. Of course, some people might be scared of higher frequency knowledge. Nothing to be scared of course. Well, because we get to know more of ourselves, we're not hiding anything anymore. And that's the thing, so why would somebody like in a spiritual community at a higher, like they have a big audience, why would they shut down open-minded thinking? Because first off, they're part of them might be afraid. They might not say they are, but might be, and they want to continue this journey here. They want to shut you off. They want to shut you down, and they can psychically. It doesn't mean they can shut you down forever, but they can attack your energy. Because for right now, this is all normal. This physical manipulation we're living, this is all normal. So when you talk about multidimensional things, of course, you're seen as a crazy person. But as we get used to more of multidimensional thinking, not that anybody is really wrong about what they're tapping into, not necessarily. I don't think most people are wrong. Some people might be. Who knows what's going on with that? That's a lot of internal. Well, if somebody's going to do something that's wrong, or they might be deliberately trying to shut people down. So, like saying that you're a Nazi when you're not a Nazi, you didn't have a Nazi lifestyle, for example. They're just trying to lower your frequency. So, yeah, it does exist for some people. But either way, yeah, there's tests there, of course. We're basically breaking down four-dimensional blockages that are here, which are many. That's the Archon grid is mostly in fourth dimension. So it's just multi-dimensional energies, basically just trusting your inner self. How far can you go? It's connecting to the moon. You see a white moon, can you see the moon translucent itself? You see the beings that are causing manipulations there. See that being healed. Because many are once again holding on to the physical, because the physical is like an object. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it, but some are controlling it, obviously. I mean, you can't just, if they weren't controlling it, you should be able to go anywhere and say whatever the hell you want. Obviously, you're not allowed to do that. Well, you can, but you won't get very far. Yeah, because the controllers here obviously want people to not know themselves, have trickster energies around them, and keep things confusing. So you're here to heal that energy and connect to your multidimensional self and just heal the trickster energies. Of course, tricksters don't want to be healed, obviously. But I mean, we pretty much live in a trickster reality called religion. Yeah. So they're doing everything they can to shut us down for obvious reasons, but they can't win every fight. It's just letting go. There's nothing to be afraid of. Basically, just allowing. Yeah, it's as people become more honest with themselves. They're not. You're not. I mean, that doesn't mean you have to tell everybody your whole secrets or anything, but you're not. I don't know. Just a little bit more open. You're just not afraid of the higher realms. Let's put it that way. Where it's not something that you're going to get kicked into quickly, but that's. I mean, that's for you to see. It's like you're opening up the hood of a car. It's like you're seeing how things are working. So you're doing that here. So yeah, as many vortexes around Washington D.C. to control society, of course, Archon technology, of course, even where we live and homes that are box like. Of course, they use that as a vortex to control society too. It's everywhere. So how many are ready to release all that? If you release that, like the energies within confined home, and you release the tree energy, because even nature has that, and you go, how many people are ready for that? Not many. It's a little bit complicated, but you kind of have your moment of just releasing this reality, not let it affect you so much. You can find peace of mind, of course, not easy. So you might feel darkness because these beings don't want you to find yourself. Yeah, they don't want you to find you at all. They want to, they want to cook you, and that's the test. Well, because we're learning tests that other beings have not learned. So all the stuff that's why reptilians attack us and all that, because but part of it has to do is just they want us to learn the lessons that they can't. They're having trouble learning, or that will help us become a better person. Really, what it comes down to, it's just they hit us with all this stuff, but to make us better. Of course, you look at it any way you want, but it is really to make us better in the long run. But some people get indulged with all the darkness, and they don't always get better. They get stuck in the darkness. They get stuck, and it's not the easiest thing to break out of. They kind of overdo it sometimes. Where it becomes here to make you better, but then they make you worse. So then they push you backwards. So yeah, it's complicated on so many different levels. So let's see. Uh, Other versions of Earth. Some people it depends on the person, of course. Of course, many are going to do more of a higher frequency Earth. Well, here, for example, uh, a higher frequency Earth that knows this planet very well, like a Palladian world, technically. You can say it's kind of a Nordic world that is focused on this planet because they see the trappings around this Earth. So it's like a society of, what do you say, Palladian beings are like, their world is about protecting us from us being taken over even more. They even see the beings that control us, like they have it on their view screens and all that. What kind of Archon beings, kind of reptilian beings are manipulating our reality, and and they have daily discussions. I mean, maybe not the whole world, but their security team, you can say, their government is seeing the beings that are manipulating our reality, and they're doing what they can. So, like for contact and things like that. So it's like think of like a world that's kind of dedicated to that. Maybe not the whole world, but it's like a world that they might even they keep some of that secret from the rest of the reality because not everybody needs to indulge in that. But like some of the alien jobs are to know what's going on here. So and it's actually a planet. Of course, I believe there's several other planets, but I'm just tapping into like a Nordic Palladian world that's here to help us. They do get knowledge from Archon beings that actually are refugees from this planet to teach Palladian beings how Archon beings are thinking or what's going on. It's like they get advice because they can't figure this all out, what's happening here. Just when they figure something out, some other manipulation comes in. They don't have all the answers, basically. So that's at least one reality you can tap into. And their society is that's the thing. They have these movies where there's not a lot of character development, but there's a lot of action. Some of these worlds are like that. Like there's not a whole lot of character development. It's like, hey, how's it going? But they're really about unplugging us from this reality. So they don't really. Some of them might have kind of like a stale kind of personality, but it all depends. Some might have a colorful personality. It all depends. It all depends. Yeah. I mean, just because they're perfect in health doesn't mean they're perfect in personalities. But a lot of times that might get in the way. Like some military, don't they have kind of like the same personality usually? It's kind of like gun ho, go do whatever, and you know, and yeah, leave the personality at the door. So it's kind of the same thing. It's like they don't want any interference. They want to psychically connect to what's going on here. So you have too many distractions. They can't see everything too clear. So gives you kind of, at least that's one point of view. That's the one I'm tapping into right now. So, all right. Anything else? So that was a 5D reality. 4D, oh, 5D actually. So I believe it's another version of Earth, kind of like a Palladian reality. Uh, there's blue people, green people, whatever. Either way, or to give you a little more detail, so there's like a government system that's watching over us, like trying to get us out of this or whatever. And then you have an outside, like the rest of the world, where it's like a real life, playing and stuff like that and fun, whatever that is. um, but for the most part, it's not everybody's into this kind of government system, but quite a few of them are. Kind of like at least the energy I'm getting, kind of like a red alert planet, where they're really integrated into ours to help us not destroy ourselves, things like that. There's not many people on that planet, also not really showing the population, but there's not that many on there, just enough to keep it going. So, all right, I'll leave you with that. It's different. So, all right, blessings everyone.